Alright, hello people, and welcome. I am going to be, normally I post videos of me playing Morrowind, but I've also been playing a lot of Diablo 3 for a while now. And I've posted a few videos of Diablo 3, but lately I have been playing the seasonal adventure mode. And I think for this season coming up, which is going to be season 18, I'm gonna post a few of the videos. I don't know if I'm gonna play the whole season or not, but we'll see how it goes. I played the heck out of season 17, and season 17 was pretty good. I had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it looks like season 18. Well, it looks like it's just going to be almost a big repeat of Season 17, at least for me. I play mainly the Witch Doctor, but I also play the Necromancer. And Necromancer, they've made some changes this coming season. I don't know if you've ever played seasonal play on Diablo 3. That's actually the main thing that most people play now. The campaign is kind of like been played to death, and now it's just trying to get on the leaderboards. Excuse me. And trying to power up your character as much as you can. And I did pretty good last season. I'll go over the rankings. Do they actually have them here? Might even have them here. Let's see. But it's not the barbarian that I play. Alright, we'll go into it after. But anyways, they on the rankings on the leaderboards, they go up to the top 1,000 people, and I got into the 200s, which was not bad. I don't think that was bad. Especially it's really the first season I've really tried to get into the leaderboards, and I think I did pretty good. But it's not just about the leaderboards for me. I also want to have fun playing. I want to have fun trying to come up with different combinations. But a lot of the things that they did this season are I just don't think it's going to make anything new. So here's one thing that they did. This could kind of be interesting. Flavor of Time. Pylon effects last twice as long. Okay, so that's, I believe this is an amulet. So if you have a character build that does not really have a very useful amulet, you can now use this one. And my character build does not have an extremely useful amulet, so I might use this one. Executioner, I don't think I would ever use that. Stone Gauntlets is a barbarian item. Echoing Fury, once again, I just don't think I would use that. Squirt's Necklace. I kind of doubt I would ever use this. If it's a choice between Squirt's Necklace and this Flavor of Time, I believe I'm going to choose the Flavor of Time. It seems like so much better. The Reaver, I won't use that. Mordec's Brace, I won't use that. Wait a minute. Stone Gauntlets, that's not a barbarian item. But I don't believe I would use this either. Stone Gauntlets. And Spite, I do play a Witch Doctor, but I don't get it. I don't understand this, because they're just basically giving you a little bit extra power to your Gargantuan, but the builds that I can think of, you're not going to use a Gargantuan, and this little extra thing that you're going to get for your Gargantuan, I just can't see it being worth it to use this item, because you have to give up the item that you would have been using, and you have to give up a skill to use the Gargantuan, and you probably want to give up a ring, because there's a special ring that goes with the Gargantuan. I don't know if I want to give up all that. I don't know. I just don't see it being very useful. Legacy of Dreams, probably I will be using that. That just basically allows you to have the same power same buff that you had last season. You just didn't need to actually. Everyone automatically had it. Crafted sets. Okay, here's where it kind of gets a little tricky. Okay, so there are three potential builds for the Witch Doctor. Now, the Necromancer, I think it's going to be an exact repeat of last season. Last season, they had something called Thorns with an item called Bone Ringer. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that will make no sense. But basically, it is just a build, and it was so powerful that everyone used it. I tried to come up with my own combination that I thought would work well. I just didn't have enough time to build it up. It was basically a combination of Skeletal Mage and the Thorns. The Skeletal Mage part worked fine, but I didn't have enough items with Thorns in it to really get the Thorns thing to work very well, so it didn't go very far. I would like to have tried it again this season, but I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to make it work. And the only other option for the Thorns setup for this season might be something called, I believe it's Inarius, which is basically a bone armor green set. I just can't see that being better than the Thorns Bone Ringer Ancient Legendary build. It's just, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be any better. And for that matter, with the bone armor, you could just build an Ancient Legendary setup and have it be the same setup that you might have had with the bone armor, but you get a bunch of extra different abilities from other ancient items. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, it's kind of confusing to really explain. But basically, I think this season is just going to be the Witch Doctor. There's going to be 3 builds that I'm going to be experimenting with. This is my Witch Doctor from last season. Did pretty well. I had a few different innovations that I thought helped me out a little bit. I just didn't have very good items. This is one little innovation. I've been using the S of Johann. Most people are using a Hellfire Amulet to gain an extra passive skill. I thought the S of Johann did pretty well. And I use these gloves. These are fairly defensive gloves. They work really well. They basically give me almost always give me 10 seconds of freedom to do whatever I want because I have a protective shield around me whenever I encounter an elite pack. Most people are using Tasker and Theo. I didn't get it. I didn't understand Tasker and Theo because it increases, do I even have it here? It increases the attack speed of your pets. But with this build, it's not your pet's attack speed, it's your attack speed that determines how much damage you're going to do. So increasing your pet's attack speed it just didn't seem to like it was going to help that much. So I stuck with the more defensive one. But the items that I had, they just didn't give me any great success compared to the other players. I saw a lot of players with a primal weapon, Sacred Harvester. I didn't get a primal one. This one isn't bad, but definitely a primal one would have been much better. My Depth Diggers is only 88%, so I think that held me back quite a bit. And my Oculus Ring, 76%. It could have been better. I wish it had been better. So, for my success on the leaderboards, let's see if I can bring it up here. And let's see. Is it gonna have seasonal 17? I believe I got up to Rift 118. 14 minutes, I think. And here I am. That's not bad. I don't think I did too bad. Hero details. This was my build. Most of the other builds are. Oh yeah, this was another little thing I had here. Most people were using a skill called Horrify. I had summoned zombie dogs, and they absorb 10% of the damage done to me, which, to me, it's at least equivalent, if not better, than the Horrify skill. But you know, a lot of the other players. Let's see what Gizmo's got here. Okay, his depth diggers is a little bit better than mine. Oculus ring. Okay, he's a little bit higher level than me, so he's got a little bit better than me. Okay, he went with Frostburn. Look at that, critical hit, attack speed. That's really decked out pretty well. Where is he? Here's the Horrify that a lot of them were using, and that's the Hellfire amulet that a lot of them were using. I didn't use those. I went with the S of Johan and the zombie dogs. And I could have kept trying. I had a lot of time to try to inch my way up a little further. I just didn't. So anyways, what am I going to do? This was Season 17, Season 18. There are 3 builds that I'm looking at. The first one is just basically a repeat of what I did last season, except I would have to either actually wear the 2 rings that go with what's called the Legacy of, I believe, Legacy of Nightmares, or I would have to use the Legendary Gem, which means I would not be able to use this Gogok. That's another difference I had among compared to other builds. The Gogok did pretty well with me. My swiftness, cooldown rate, dodge, it was pretty well-rounded one. But I would probably have to take that one out and put in the Legendary Gem. I'm hoping that's not the way it's going to be, because I don't want an exact repeat of last season. But the other option is just going to be a classic Jade Harvester setup. I might not mind that. I like the Jade Harvester setup. I also have a few little innovations on that I really wanted to try myself and see how well they do against other Jade Harvester setups. So maybe if you have to give up a Legendary Gem to repeat this build, maybe that'll power it down enough to where Jade Harvester will compete against it. Last season, Jade Harvester just couldn't compete against this. It's actually a Poison Dart Carnival build. Those are the 2 primary things with this build. So I would like to try Jade Harvester also, but the third one, which I think probably has the most potential, would be Zunimasa. That might make a big comeback. It was already pretty close to this build last season, and it might have even been just as good, but it's a lot more tricky to use, because with this build here, when you're shooting your enemies, they just take the damage. They take big damage. With the Zunimasa, you first have to hit your enemy with a mana spender, and only then do they take the big damage. And so that makes it a little more tricky to use. You got to find a way to be able to hit your enemies with mana spenders. But the reason why it might have an edge this season, number one, like I said, this build you're going to have to give up a Legendary Gem or give up 2 rings. Probably Legendary Gem would probably be the better one to give up. So that's going to power this down a little bit, maybe making this a little more powerful. But the big advantage to this one, maybe, and I don't know, are some of the crafted sets that they have created or enhanced. So we've got Captain Crimson's trimmings. That's one that you should be able to use with Zunimasa. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Captain's. Okay, oops, it's not going to show it for me. I have to go get it again. Forgot about that. Okay, I gotta go get it again before I can actually show you here. But anyways, increases damage dealt based upon your total cooldown reduction. Increases damage reduction based upon your resource cost reduction. But because of the way the Zunimasa is set up and the way this is set up, you can wear both. You can have the Zunimasa plus this. Same thing with this All Guilds Authority, where you're going to get big damage bonus and damage reduction, including versus elites, even better against elites. And as a matter of fact, you should be able to wear Zunimasa and this one and this one. You should be able to wear all three. Kane's Destiny is going to be almost worthless, I think, just as is Sage's Journey. They're just worthless. And the thing with the Necromancer, unfortunately, it's almost just not worth it at all. You really can't use these with the Necromancer, unfortunately, because the Necromancer, the way the setup is you got helmet, chest armor, shoulders, gloves, pants, feet. In order to wear, you definitely can't wear both of these with the greenie set for the Necromancer. But you could wear one, but you would have to give up a lot in order to be able to wear either one of these for the Necromancer. So the Necromancer just doesn't have a chance with any of this. The poor Necromancer just got totally ignored this season, I think. So if you play a Necromancer, I think you're just going to be in for the same thing that you had last season, which might be fine for you. Okay, I'm looking for something a little different. The only problem I have with all of this whole concept, is nothing is for free. In order to get these bonuses, you've got to give up stuff. You've got to be wearing... Now, if you've got something called the Ring of Royal Grandeur, you don't actually need 3 pieces. You only need 2 pieces for this one and for this one. But you've got to give up those 2 pieces. What are you giving up? Okay, and when you give up pieces for this and this, if you want both, that's 4 pieces you've got to give up from your Zunimasa setup. I just don't think it's going to be worth it, because what are you going to be giving up? Let's see if I still got it. I don't know if it disappeared or not. Well, you've got, you're probably going to need this Carnival. Actually, you'll definitely need this Carnival. You're also going to need something called the Mask of Jerem. Those are almost essential. You almost have to have those. Do I have it? Here it is, the Mask of Jerem. Because they are what really beef up the damage. Okay? Now you can probably give up these shoulders. What else do you give up? 2, 3, 4. You've got to have... Okay. I believe you can give up this belt. That's probably shoulders, belt. Okay, maybe these feet. Need one more. Gotta have one more. And I guess it would be the gloves. Now, this is not the Zunimasa set, obviously, but that's basically what you're going to be giving up. Ah, where'd it go? Lost it. Okay. I just don't think it's going to be worth it. I just don't. And maybe it will. Maybe it will. But the other thing, too, is that the Zunimasa set doesn't do anything, really, very much with cooldown reduction or cooldown... resource cost reduction or reducing cooldown rate. So, you know, it might help a little bit, but I just don't think it's going to help enough to really make it worth it. You also have to give up at least 1 ring for the Ring of Royal Grandeur. I've got Unity, Oculus, and I've got Convention of the Elements. You got to give up 2 rings because you need this ring also. You need this ring and this offhand. plus 3 other pieces. I don't even think you're gonna be able to. Do it. I just think you're gonna have to give up too much to make it worth it. And so therefore, maybe you'll be able to do 1. Maybe you'll be able to do 1. You won't be able to do 2. I don't know. I'm hoping though. I'm hoping Jade Harvester is gonna win out this coming season. That's the one that I really want to go with. But I'll experiment with the other ones too. But anyways, okay, I just wanted to just do a video. I took a little bit longer than what I thought I was gonna do. So the first few videos are just gonna start off with me trying to get up to 70th level. That's your first major goal. So you just kind of want to, hopefully it won't take too long. Usually like about 2 or 3 hours is what it's supposed to take if you're doing it solo. I'm gonna do the challenge rift. I don't do very many challenge rifts, but that's usually the first thing that you want to do when you're trying to power up. Let's see here. Challenge rifts. It's going to be the Demon Hunter. I never play a Demon Hunter. But most of these challenge rifts are basically you just go in and shoot, and you just got to do it within the 6-minute and 12-second time limit, and then you get this chest full of gold and goodies and stuff, and you definitely need that. But you can't do it until the season starts, which is tomorrow night. So I'll be doing that tomorrow night and recording a little bit, and we'll see how far I get. We'll see how the season goes. Like I said, if it seems like it's just gonna be a repeat of last season, I may not stick with it for very long. But I am gonna do Morrowind. I normally record Morrowind videos, but I'm gonna try and do both Morrowind and Diablo 3 during this season 18. Alright, so anyways, I'm gonna sign off here, and the next video should be me doing the challenge rift, or maybe I'll actually start up a character first. And then you gotta start up your character first. And then once you have your character started up, your seasonal character, then you go do the challenge rift, and then you claim your reward from the challenge rift to your seasonal season 18 character that you just created. And you want to make sure you do it in that order. You want to make sure that your seasonal character gets that reward, and you'll see why. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and you can kind of make items and stuff right off the bat, so it's really helpful. Okay, I'm out of here, and we will see you next time. Okay, bye everyone.